Hi, this is an introduction to IT 228, the Capstone class. I'm Steve Conger. I think most of you have met me. Please ignore the chaos in this room. We cleaned out the garage and we have some things we haven't decided what to do with yet. And they all ended up in my office. So it's a bit messy, but it's not a big deal. So I'm going to switch over to the syllabus and go through the class here. Um, Basically, this is a capstone. It is a project class. It should be done near the end of your program. There's office, I probably won't be in my office hours, but you can email me and I'll answer as soon as I can. If you need to, we can set up a Zoom time to talk. I will respond to emails fairly quickly. Here's my email, and you can also get me through Canvas. Basically, this is we want to do a project that will show what you've learned over the course of your studies. It's ideal for a portfolio or a something to show to an employer as you go forward. Most of what the class involves is actually documenting your process. So we're going to define a scope. We're going to define personal learning goals. We'll locate some resources. We'll document the process, as I said. We'll document the project and we'll evaluate the success of what your learning goals were, what you hope to learn, and whether you did it. There is no textbook. For the most part, you're on your own, although I will help you as much as I can. I am not a designer. I can't help you with design. If you're doing a programming in PHP, I don't know PHP very well. I can help as much as I can, and I'll try to find you resources. You can also use the discussion features of Canvas to talk to others about it. So I'm going to just talk a little bit. The hardest part of this class is coming up with a project. That's really the hardest part. It should be something that shows what you've learned, something that you can show potential employers. It should be complex enough to show a good variety of skills and abilities, but not so complicated that you can't finish it in a quarter. When you turn in your project description, what you want to do, that's what I'll evaluate it on. Is it too much? Is it too little? If it's not, if it falls in between those, then great. The project can be group or it can be single, right? You can work alone or you can have a group. Some of the assignments are set up for groups, but if you're not a group, just turn it in under your own name. If you are in a group, the group assignments can just one person needs to turn it in. But some of the assignments are purely individual as well. You can use a project that has a live client. It's good for getting real world requirements and experience. They make good references. The only caveat is that the client can complicate timelines and getting things in on time. So if you have a client, make sure that you can get your project in before the quarter is done. All right. So I'm pretty loose on the top end here. 100 to 90 is a 4.0, 3.0, etc. Let me look at the assignments. So the assignments again are defining the scope of the project. Basically, what is your project going to contain? What are the features of it, etc. What tools and environments are you going to use? What do you hope to learn from this? What are your personal goals for doing this? Then there's a series of reports where basically, I'll just look at report one. You tell me, what have you worked on most recently? What are the aspects that have proved challenging? How is the project going, and what are you going to be working on next? That's what your report should consist of. The reports are to keep you kind of involved in the middle of the quarter when there's really not much to do except work on your project. The biggest danger in all of this is just to forget it or put it aside until the end. And these are meant to try to keep you from doing that. I will also kind of monitor, and if I see somebody not doing anything or seeming to fall behind, I will contact you and ask you how things are going. At the end, we present the project, but I'm not asking you to do an actual presentation. As I said, you do not actually have to present it. Just upload a presentation so I can review it. It should include an overall summary of the project, a look at a few of its key features, the aspects that were most challenging, and the part that you were most proud of. And you can use whatever tool you want. It can be in a Google Doc or it can be in PowerPoint. But submit that and maybe add a link, to the presentation in Canvas. The other things are assessment of goals and then turning in the project. So if you're turning in the project, usually it's just a link to the GitHub or a link to the website. But you can, if you have to, you can zip a bunch of files and send them to me. I prefer the links, but whatever works for you. I want to real quickly do a look at a page here on the introduction. And basically, I just wanted to mention types of projects that people have done in the past. And there have been a lot of different things. You can do almost anything. As I said, when you first turn in your scope, I'll tell you if I think it's too simple or too complicated. You can argue with me about that if you want when we get there. Web designers have often fleshed out their portfolios. Some have created sites for clients in their own businesses. Web developers have created data-driven sites. Again, some were for imaginary and others for real clients. Many have created WordPress sites, so I do accept WordPress. Programmers have created apps, interactive websites, and games. Some have created their own kind of portfolio where they showcase different kinds of programming and different languages that they've used. GitHub is great for posting code. Again, most of the grade is process, but I do want you to create a project that shows your skills and your chances of getting a good job. Increases your chances of getting a good job. I do have modules here, and you'll see that there's it has a YouTube of overview from last time. I'll probably replace it with this one from today. Defining the scope, tools and environments, personal goals, building the project, finalizing, and then I have a thing on resources. These are some tutorials on using GitHub. So I think that's all I'm going to do for the very beginning. Let me know if you have questions. Email me. If you really need to talk, we can set up a Zoom time. Thank you.